And just like that, we are back. We are back. Welcome to the Coach and Coach Podcast. That guy right beside me getting his notes together. Because he's the reason that we make this thing work. The guy right beside me, he is our offensive coordinator, master writer, mastermind, offensive extraordinaire. If you got a play you want to run, you better run it by him first. He's our offensive coordinator, Coach Benji. And I am your defensive coordinator. My job is simple. Stop people from scoring. If it work out, it work out. But I got my offensive coordinator there to cover me just in case it don't work out. I might give up 30. He just got to score 31. Welcome to the Coach and Coach Podcast. Make sure that you hit that follow button. If you're following us on TikTok, it don't cost a thing to hit that screen. Come on and help us out. I know it's been a minute, but we're back. The reason why we had to take a break, y'all haven't been hitting the screen. We ran out of money. We need your help, guys. Hit that screen and let us know you with us. If you're following us on Facebook, make sure you hit the follow button. Tell somebody, and tell somebody that the Coach and Coach Podcast is on tonight. We're almost close to getting an organized non-football season schedule. Y'all just bear with us now. We're almost there. We almost got a non-football season organized schedule. We almost there, but we getting there. If you happen to miss this episode, and you shouldn't, but just in case you did, make sure you follow us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you get your podcast. Coach, man, we're back in this thing, man. We've both been, I'm working off of maybe 2-3 hours sleep. And I got now, Coach, I sleep in all my clothes because I know I got to get up.
Come on now.
I already know I got to get up. So I just sleep in everything just so I can hop up and do whatever I need to do, man. And I think I got up this morning around 3:45 and hadn't been to sleep since.
Well, I hope that's Red Bull in the Powerade bottle because you're the one that kind of pushes the thing along, keeps it on the rails. So if you're out of here, this thing may get sideways quick. But there's a lot of news going on around sports right now and stuff. It may go off the rails anyway. So.
Yeah, that's where man, I mean, after a night of college women's basketball and then with all the college football news, and you got the NFL has been kind of quiet, which is, I guess, no news is good news. Free agency kind of slowed down a little bit. You got the WNBA with the expansion draft with the Portland and the Toronto team being added. Now there's 14 teams in the WNBA now. So I don't know what that's going to do. They're making more money now, so hope they're getting more money. So I hope they make some money this year, and just a lot of stuff, a lot of controversy. My wife, she took us out last night. I guess she felt sorry for me, and we went to eat at I can't think of the little restaurant in Oxford, right behind where old Burger King is. I don't know why I keep wanting to call it place. Walk on, yeah. I keep wanting to call it Place Bistro. I don't know why. I don't know where it come from, but that's what I want to call it. But we went there and we was watching the game as we was there, and a lot of controversial things happened. Been a lot of college football news, man, and we're going to dive right into that because I got some things to say about it. You got some things to say about it. So, Coach, go ahead and let's give our listeners the gist on what's going on in the college football world, Coach.
Well, spring practice is going on, and we'll get into some updates later. But the big news yesterday, Donald Trump says he plans to sign. I guess this is going to be Tuesday because he said it would be after the men's national championship game. He'll sign an executive order to save college athletics. There's a lot in it. There's some stuff. There's some stuff that I actually think, the conversation needs to be had on Olympic sports, women's sports in this revenue generating era where if it's all about, if you own a business and you're going to start treating University X is going to treat athletics as a business, well, if it's not making money, it's going to get cut. And I think there's some sports at certain campuses that have been scholarship sports that could become club sports at the current rate that we're going. So I do think that some of that, that's a conversation that needs to be had. But the big 3 points that we'll talk about here is uh, they want to do one free transfer, um, and then you get your graduate transfer year. Any transfer after that, you have to. Yeah. And why are we freezing up?
Yeah, I shouldn't be seeing connection. I should be seeing those. Like I said, we
I'm just here by myself. There you go. Looks like you're coming back on.
Well, let me see. Let me reclaim. It's told me to reclaim the host. Don't know what happened there, but hopefully we're back. We're back. We're back again. Let's do this again. I don't know what happened, but definitely something I will be contacting Zoom about. Hopefully by the beginning of football season next year, we'll be working on the new program. But as for right now, we're back, so we're going to clap on that. Coach, we was talking about Donald Trump's, and whenever Trump do anything, it got to be a big thing. He wants the credit, and he's finna save college athletics. So, kind of give us the gist of what's going on, and then we'll discuss it.
Yeah, we'll just talk about the 3 main points as far as the things that I think. Even if this goes any further, none of this stands up in court. I don't think. I think if this was to go,
Yeah.
if anybody decided to try this, it's a done deal. But he's going to do one free transfer. Any transfer after that, you'll pay the penalty of sitting out a year, and then you'll have your graduate transfer year. So I guess
something we've been saying the whole time.
The pre-2023 portal, going back to that. And then he wants a 5-year age-based eligibility window in an effort to get athletes out, older athletes onto whether they go to a career or go pro, saving the money on these older athletes. They believe that protects your Olympic sports. And then they're wanting to crack down and penalize fraudulent NIL, which is no payment above fair market value, which I don't understand that one because, Coach, if you think I'm wrong, correct me. But if I'm, we cover Ole Miss. So say I'm Ole Miss, and I decide that I'm the general manager, and I decide that this defensive end's worth $5 million. Is that not fair market value? I'm willing to pay him. We evaluated and then did a valuation of him, and we are willing to pay him $5 million. I don't understand how you police that.
Well, when I hear something like that, Coach, the first thing I think about is where is this same philosophy when it comes to Major League Baseball? Because
yeah, exactly,
players are paid in a way that does not match their current talent, their future talent. You seeing 35-year-old Ragley Arms getting 10, 15, $20 million a year, and they're not going to play out their contract. So it's just interesting that and once again football is I want to say it's a South thing, but I'm starting to think football is just a nation thing, and everybody wants to regulate football. Everybody seems like they want to regulate football. Let me control football, because if I control football, I control the narrative.
And I mean, it's the moneymaker. I think that it's what's going to bring most of the money on the campuses. These TV deals that are so lucrative that go to the with the revenue sharing stuff. The biggest portion of that's coming to football. Um, and then basketball is smaller rosters. There's still a lot of turnover, but it's smaller rosters. It doesn't cost as much money to put together like we're talking. I think I cannot remember who said this. I believe it was a national reporter from On3 said that a national championship caliber roster was in the range of $45 million this year for 1 year. And so if it's $45 million this year, it'll be $50 million next year, and so on and so forth. And this money it's not monopoly money. This money has to come from somewhere. And so I think they did a thing. I think On3 released a chart of who spent the most money in basketball. I think the upper end of basketball rosters was like the $11-12 million range, and then I think baseball is around $5 to $7 million. So, of course, football is going to get the most attention. That's where all the money is.
Make the most. I mean, they make the most money.
Yeah.
Most of the conferences are driven and surviving and living off of football.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you think of, and not even just the universities. Like, think of the city of Oxford. How big economically playing. You had an 8-game homestand this year, which is rare. And think of how much that benefited that city having that extra home game and then the playoff game to go along with it.
Let me ask you this.
Revenue everywhere.
With, I think one of the biggest problems with NCAA is there are too many games in the tournament. It's too many non-relevant tournament games. And with the conversation of them wanting to expand.
Yeah, because that's on the table now.
Oh, my God. So you're just going to make it worse. But should the NCAA, should football be looking at, hey, we do not want to lose the power we have in our structure. I know everybody want to get in, but the more and more people get in, the only thing, and correct me if I'm wrong, the only one that has not changed their playoff structure is baseball. They've been pretty much the same.
Yeah, it's pretty much the same.
And it works.
I don't know.
Coach, to be honest with you, I wish the NCAA men would take the structure that's more similar to women's basketball and baseball, where a team gets to host a regional.
Yeah.
That would be, if they went, all right, if you're going to expand and you're doing that, let's say Duke is the #1 seed. Well, the Duke region, just like you got in baseball, you got let's go region, and then you start putting them in different places. You could be a lot more flexible in basketball than you can in football, because you got the bowls, you got all the stuff that you're connected to. If they did that, I think they would gain a little bit more, because I'm going to tell you, men's basketball, man, it started here and it plummeted. Man, wasn't nobody really interested, especially when certain teams started losing. Nobody interested. There is no buzz about the games tonight. Connecticut and UConn Illinois is playing right now. There is no buzz about the game. Women college basketball is taking over. There is no buzz about the game. But go ahead.
I agree with you. No, I agree with you, and that's what I was about to say. I think that to your point, I think that with the baseball tournament, I just think that it's set up so well as far as
works.
The way it works. I don't know why you would go messing with it, but as far as expansion goes, they think that that allows you're not going to give these spots to mid majors. You're not. You're going to give them to power conference teams. You're going to get more games that have relevant names to them that they think is going to generate more revenue. Coaches want it. If a coach can make a 76 team field, he may get put out in the first or second round. There, he's not getting fired. That's why all the college coaches want college football coaches want the playoff expanded 24 team. if I can finish in the top 25, my job's going to be safe.
Yeah.
Where right now there's teams in the country that in the 12-team playoff they finish 13th. There's some pressure on to figure this thing out, or they could see the door. So, college sports just has a lot going on, and I don't know if anybody's I don't know if anybody's willing to sit down and answer the basic things that you've got to answer first. Like I believe that
That's too much like right.
I believe that, before we start going in on certain things, we need to fix the calendar. Like with it from a college football standpoint. Like I think number one, you can what's the point if you're going to allow kids to have one free transfer? I think the biggest issue with the transfer portal is that, besides the fact that it is just run wild, but you're seeing like Pete Golden in his press conference this week talked about having kids. He had to come back from the Sugar Bowl, have kids on visits while the transfer portal is going on, prep for a Fiesta Bowl, go play the Fiesta Bowl, come back and do it all over again. You're in the middle of your national championship run, recruiting next year's roster, trying to keep your roster together, not only for the playoff run, but for next year as well. What's the point in fixing the transfer rule if we're gonna, continue to, just let people, if you're going to let people transfer while this season is still going on. That's like the NFL say if free agency opens during the divisional round of the NFL playoffs. That's insane.
Well, I mean, the one trend. I mean, and we've discussed that. We talked about the transfer part of it. You had another situation this week where another player was denied. When I looked him up, he's already played 4 years of college football. Already played, and they always like to go back to Chambliss and how was Chambliss? Once again, people, Chambliss has played 3 years of college football. Yes, he was getting a 6 year of eligibility, but he has played 3 years. These other players have played 4 or more years and trying to get another year. It's not the same. It's not the same. I wish people would look and really look at that. But
I do like a 5 year, like you get 5 years to play. Like Tommy Tuberville is you get 5 years to play 5 seasons.
And as much as I don't like Tommy Tuberville, at least I know his opinion. I mean, he's been in football.
Yeah. I think you should. What do you say? 35 years of coaching experience.
Yeah.
I mean, the guy knows.
I got to give him that. I got to give him credit right there.
And again, my whole problem with it, period, is that I think that none of this stands up in court, and I think that the NCAA and its member institutions, if you're so worried about it, because the institutions act like, this is not sustainable, we need help. The NCAA Board of Governors is like, we need help. They need to come together and figure this thing out. I just think we have a ton of issues. We have a big financial crisis on the horizon, it seems. Gas prices, the cost of everything, housing is absolutely ridiculous. I'm not gonna get into whether I agree or disagree with.
I don't disagree with gas. I'm sick of that crap.
With what's going on in the Middle East and everything like that, but you're knocking on the door of World War III. I love college athletics. I love writing about college athletics. I like talking to people on here about college athletics. I don't want my taxpayer money going into figuring out saving college athletics at the federal level. So I couldn't imagine how the millions of people in this country who could care less about college athletics feel about taxpayer money going to reform college athletics. So it's a mess.
That's the thing. Everybody ain't, this is our life. We do football. This is what we do. We do athletics. We do sport. Everybody don't do football. Everybody don't want their money. But when I thought about this today, I thought about it's the equivalent of, and I got an example, and I just want to get your opinion on it because this actually happened. It's the equivalent of a principal in my locker room. There's no issue. There is no issue that is affecting the school. It's just things are not performance-wise where it need to be. I had a situation in 2000. Me, I can mention his name. Me and Dan, we were coaching here, and I'm not even gonna bring up any name. Well, if you in Bruce, you knew who the coach, you knew who the principal was, and I remember we playing Saltillo, and coach, it wasn't a good year. I mean, it was just coming off the '99 year with Coach with Jamal and Brent Spencer and Chess Dye, all them guys, man, getting to the North Half championship, losing it to Boonville. The next year, I came back as a paraprofession, and wasn't a good year at all. And I remember we played Saltillo, and I never forget this. I remember this probably to the day I die. And Saltillo was beating us pretty good, Coach. And when we got to the locker room, our head coach at the time was going through his spiel, and I remember he made a comment. He's like, they should fire me, and I was sitting over there like, you're probably going to get fired. Don't worry about it. But he was like, they should fire me. But then I looked up, our principal is in the locker room, and now he's giving his speech. And I was like, wait a minute. Why are you here talking? This is not your arena. This is not your thing. Now, if there's an issue concerning the player, that's going to affect the school, okay. But you're in the locker room making a speech about how we are playing and getting beat. This is not your area. And I sat there, Coach, it was just my second year coaching, and I knew something was wrong with that. Can you imagine, Coach, as Coach Ray do his speech with y'all, and then all of a sudden, and I hate to use Coach Grubb because he was a football coach. So he's not a good example. Let's just say somebody else is the principal. And after Coach Ray get through talking, they start addressing the team. How are you as players are going to respond to that?
We'd have probably been like trying not to laugh and keeping a straight face. Like, man, get out of here. We're trying to go play a football game.
This is where the NCAA is losing their mind, their grip, their hold on it, because you have been going to different people saying, help us, we can't get it done, help us. And now you got the leader of the United States of America wanting to, hey, I got time to fix college football.
Which I couldn't imagine that, but okay.
Like, wow, you got time for that? Because you got some people in the NCAA. I remember when Netflix tried to buy Blockbuster. I remember they tried to buy, and Blockbuster didn't get on. They just didn't get on board. Well, have you saw Blockbuster here lately?
I hadn't seen one in a long time, okay.
Is Netflix still rolling?
They rolling.
Because they knew that this stuff was going to happen. The NCAA was so naive that their power, they thought they would be able to operate business as usual as long as they want. They created a monster that became a mind. iRobot. I love that movie. Because iRobot is really a foretelling of our true future of things that we've created that's going to turn around and going to be controlling us. We already seeing that right now. The NCAA created this monster that's now controlling it, and now they don't have time, so they won't help. And it looks bad on them, just like it would look bad if in my locker room, like this year, I didn't have a good year. We won 6 games, and I'm in the locker room, so now Beck got to come to my locker room to talk to my team. What did that look like? Like
not good.
Yeah. At this point, so at this point, if Donald Trump do this, then the NCAA need to go ahead and disband. You're no longer needed, buddy. Your services are no longer needed. If you can't fix this problem yourself, if you can't come to a conclusion, if you can't come to a solution, then NCAA, whoever running it, you need to turn your keys in.
Well, it goes like take it a step further, and then we can move on. There's plenty of other stuff to talk about, but just like I said, we cover. If you're new here on TikTok or whatever, cover Ole Miss.
Yeah.
The tampering stuff. I think the NCAA, I think they know, like, if we punish Ole Miss, we probably should punish a lot of schools. Tampering's going on everywhere. So they're like, we really don't want to lay down the hammer, but can you imagine what happens if they don't do anything?
Yeah, that's why they got all these new rules now.
So they've created a situation, and lawsuits have created a situation that have put them in an impossible spot. You let it go for 3 years. Now you are at a spot where it's headed to where it's not sustainable. So, I don't envy them trying to figure it out. Good luck to you.
Yeah, I mean, and
what's up, Tyler?
It's just like, how long do we keep doing this? How long do we allow somebody who's supposed to be leading the NCAA to continue to run and tell on everybody else? Look what they're doing to me. Look what they're doing to me. And you had an opportunity to get in front of all of this, and you thought the brand was going to, no pun intended, trump what was happening. But, it's just, it's frustrating to football fans because we look at this stuff and be like, and not just our show, but the majority of podcasts that I listen to, we're all saying the same thing. So why can't the NCAA figure it out?
Coach, I'm tired of writing about it. Like, I cannot wait for, spring. Spring is becoming a thing where you might as well get rid of it. Like, I think that's part of fixing the calendar too.
Yeah.
Nobody wants to give access because if you give media access and video gets out, my roster's getting tampered with because everybody sees my players. So access gets smaller and smaller. So I don't even know why we do it. But I can't wait to get through the summer into the fall to have something to write about other than politics.
It's difficult. It's difficult, and it's the same way in clinics now. If you've been to the Mississippi High School Athletic Association or the Mississippi Association of Coaches, if you ever been to the clinic down there, I remember when I first started going in 2003, you had prominent people coming in and talking about things. The last football coach that really talked about scheme was Martin Ritt when he was with Georgia. He came down. Now, if you get somebody, they're not going to talk about nothing. They're not going to give you nothing that you can go back with. Why? Because we're just in that day and age now that don't nobody want to. That was the one thing I really loved about powerlifting when I powerlift coach, is that if I couldn't deadlift 600, there's nothing I can do about it. So that lifter can help me in other areas, or I can help a lift. One thing about it, my bench was my thing. I knew that once they saw that bench on that board, coach, they done. Coach, when they looked up there and they saw my name, coach, and they saw, man, he opened it up 345. Well, God darn it, man, we just got to call it a day. Hey, when they saw it, they knew it was over with. This man is opening up with 345 in the 198 class. We done. We done. But the thing is, coach, is that we helped each other out, because if I can't lift it, I just can't lift it. It's just, if I can't do it, I just can't do it. So now they're getting to where, crap, you get access to everything. You got people. I don't think they formally do like the NFL, but they got people on the analyst staff that's going to see Auburn play if you got Auburn in a couple of weeks, you know one of your analysts went to Auburn, Alabama to watch them play freaking Clemson. You know somebody in the audience there. They getting all the information. You know
Yeah,
they go to this game.
And their sole job's just breaking film down. They'll have the game plan ready before, as soon as that Saturday's game's over with. They're getting handed the scout report.
And they
right after.
so helping, but nowadays don't nobody. I don't want my stuff to get out. And then to your point, you definitely don't want to leak your spring practices, because now you're looking up and saying, okay, halfback one, and they did like 40 reps today, and he got about 20 of them, and halfback two got 10, and halfback three is a good talent, but he only got 5 reps today. Hey, see what halfback three, see what he'll do to come here.
And don't sit there and say that, because here's another thing. They're talking about these transfer rules that they're the blind transfers, 6-game suspension for coaches who get caught accepting a transfer outside of the portal window. 20% of your football budget will be taken away from you, and 5 roster spots taken away for next year's team. Somebody's going somewhere. I don't care. Like, how do you enforce? How do you tell? That's a lawsuit waiting to happen, because
you said this months ago.
You're not going to tell a student, like, take regular student A, John Smith. He's just a regular student, and he says, you know what? I don't want to be at Alaska Western Tech anymore. I'm going to go
Alaska Tech. I'm going to create that school.
I'm going to go to school somewhere. No one can stop him from unenrolling and going to that school. So an athlete, you're going to say, all they're going to do is file a suit that says, well, you wouldn't, my fellow classmates can go wherever they want to, penalty free. Why can't I? It's coming. So, they can sit there and say they're going to do all this they want to. I'm telling you, in a few weeks, this not having a spring transfer window, there's going to be cases filed left and right. Just wait.
Well, man, hey, like I said, I'm with you. I'll be glad when it's not the number one news. And like I said, even though he signed this executive order, if even my class understand that we don't have supreme law, we don't have kings or monarchies in the United States. We still do have a democracy. So most of the time, it's whoever got the news first, it act like fact. But there are some things, it has to go through processes. So even though an executive order is signed, it does not mean a thing if the other two sides don't agree to it. So maybe they get it straight, maybe they don't. But Coach, man, to stay on that college level, I'm going to play this clip, and we're going to get into this. This was the third quarter. At the end of the third quarter of last night, my South Carolina and my coach Don Staley, everybody that know me know that my secondary team is South Carolina. I love the Lady Gamecocks. I love Don Staley. If she leave, I probably won't even support him no more. But I loved her as a player. I definitely love her as a coach. I love how she's doing it. But last night, things got a little rough last night. Let's get into it.
Event. Sarah Strong's jersey is split right down the middle. I saw you speaking to the refs about it. What message did you try to convey?
Right. There were 6 fouls called that quarter, all of them against us. And they've been beating shit out of our guys down there the entire game.
They bleeped it out.
Excuses because we haven't been able to make a shot. But this is ridiculous. Their coach rants and raves on the sideline and calls the referee some names you don't want to hear. And now we get 6-0, and I got a kid with a ripped jersey, and they go, I didn't see it. Come on, man. This is for the national champion.
Coach, there's layers to this. The first thing, when I heard the interview, I did not expect his response, because I thought for the most part, I said, well, crap, UConn, despite of their inaccuracy, giving up That was the main thing I saw last night. They gave up 14 offensive rebounds.
That'll do it.
Pat Summitt, great Pat Summitt said this: offense put butts in seats, defense win games, rebounding wins championships. And last night it showed. If you cannot hold a team to one shot, you're in trouble. Now, I'm a coach. Sometime when it's been games where I told the ref, like, hey, ref, look at the fouls. They got 5, we got 0. I mean, we got 5, they got 0. Make that make sense to me. I get that. I understand. And the ripping of the jersey, I wish he would have got some better information before he went on to that, because the young lady, Strong ripped her own jersey. She was frustrated because she missed a shot. She just wasn't playing well. Player of the year. She just wasn't playing well. It's the Raven Johnson effect. I think Caitlin Clark had to deal with it 2 years ago. It's that effect. Well, when she lock in, she play defense. She don't worry about offense. I had no problem with that. The first problem I had, Coach, is when he called out another coach for how they were addressing referees. And for me, that really bothered me, because that felt kind of snitches. That felt like a snitch. Like, just because it ain't working for you, don't tell on me. Don't you go tell the whole world. So that's why I said this was calculated. Let me tell the whole world how this coach is treating the officials and how she's talking to the official. Mind that you just got on national TV and dropped the S-bomb. But now so if you can do that, so have you been nice to the officials all year? Mr. 38-0? Have you been talking, hey, Mr. Ref, I know you missed that call. Come on, do better, okay? Or have you been aggressive? And mind it, Pat Summitt, she warned us. She told us this ain't a good guy. And she went to her grave. She told us this ain't a good guy. But what happens when you're winning? People tends to just look at what we did. Oh, you want a good example? What did we do at Ole Miss? Lane Kiffin didn't change. He didn't change who he was.
Coach, there's a documentary.
But we got shocked when he did what he did. But we were winning. It didn't matter. We're winning. Hotty toddy. Gosh almighty.
It's okay. It's okay if you're a butthole, as long as you're our butt.
As long as you're our butthole. So then she told us about the man. So that part, okay, you're mad at the officials. Granted, opening the fourth quarter, the first 3-4 fouls were called on South Carolina. So his rant paid off. You got the first 4 calls. Boom. The 3-ball. Man, y'all got within 1. But guess what they could not do, Coach? Rebound. They couldn't rebound, Coach. When they missed, when South Carolina missed shots, they got the rebound. South Carolina was more physical. Let me give you a good breakdown. Coach, the player of the year, Miss Strong, is 6'2". And Miss Strong is solid. She got the right last name. She's solid. Raven Johnson is 5'9", 5'10". You mean to tell me that the pit bull couldn't get away from a chihuahua? And you on national TV complaining that the chihuahua was doing too much to the pit bull? You are national player of the year. That mean consensus. Everybody said you the best. And you telling me that the little girl stopped you to where now my coach got to cuss and get mad? Oh, man. But, Coach, it got to the end. I'm sitting there. I'm at walk-ons, and I'm just happy and just like, whoo. On one TV, I'm celebrating. On the other TV, I watched Ole Miss had bases loaded and then walked in another run. I was like, crap, I'm going from excitement to horror at the same time. Take this off so I won't have to look at it. Because we loading the bases and walking them in. Or we hit the ball to the first baseman and he can't get it out of his freaking hands to end the inning. That's a whole other thing. I wasn't even supposed to go there, Coach. My bad. I lost it that quick. Let me reel myself back in.
Or how many balls do you just hit to the warning track? And,
So I'm
But
watching
hey-
both. I'm watching both of them, Coach. I'm watching both of them.
go ahead, Coach. Go ahead.
And then I see that it's time to shake hands. And you know, you ain't got you can tell. Let me educate you about women and definitely black women. There's a facial expression that they make. You know, this ain't right. Coach, no, not just black women. Coach, there's a facial expression that Carrie make that you know something ain't right.
Yeah.
You ain't gotta ask. You better react. You ain't gotta ask nothing. You know something is wrong. And if I don't change whatever's going on, even though they expect us to be mind readers and that we should know everything that they're thinking about, we better act like that we work for the circus. And there was a look that Don Staley gave. I said, yeah, this is going to be good. This is going to be good. We're going to have a show. I said, boy, I can't wait to talk about this because it's going to be good. And then they got into it. And I was like, wow. And his apology today, Coach, I'm going to read his apology, which I think was a bunch of crap. I'm not going to read it verbatim. He apologized to South Carolina's staff, players. I apologize, which is it's what we do. You know, we don't apologize for doing what we do. We apologize when we get caught.
It looked like a pretty good. I don't know who their
PR.
communications PR
Yeah, you
sports
gotta fix it.
information guy, SID. I don't know who he is, but he did. He earned his paycheck.
Yeah, he called him. Gino, you're on it. Man, they're talking about you. You got to fix this, buddy. All right. Not one time did he mention Don Staley's name. That's who you disrespected. That's who you disrespected. And when that happened, Coach, I went right back to everything Pat Summitt used to say about him. This is why, and I don't want to push it too far and say that, you know, I'm not going to go into the misogynistic, I'm not going to go into the sexism or nothing like that. But Pat Summitt said this years ago, decades ago. And to see it happen in real time, it's pretty amazing to me, Coach.
Yeah, I've never been a head coach. You know, he says he's mad that he stood out there waiting for a handshake in pregame. You know, was what I read something about that
First time I known they done that.
this morning. I never, you know, in my time of coaching, I never thought about. I was not a handshake was not on my mind.
No.
I'm sorry, I just wasn't concerned with that. And then, you know, I've never. Now, I ain't gonna lie, Coach, you know as well as I do, I didn't handle losing very well.
No, you didn't.
But it was it was kind of internalized though. I never after a game, if you beat me,
You suck it up.
yeah,
You sucked it up.
It's just part of it. You guys tip your hat.
There's some
and
coaches,
move on.
Coach, that I didn't want to touch their freaking hands. That we might
you
have had
do it.
words during the game, but I do. I'm not finna do that because why? I got players. They're calls. One thing I never let my players do, one thing I never tell my players is that the referees got us. Even though I might think they got us, I don't want them making no excuses.
Right.
I bring up stats. I'll be like, yeah, we shot 4 for 32 from the free throw line. Bring up stuff like that. That's what Gino should have been talking about, is that we gave up 14 offensive rebounds. You cannot win ball games that way. The one thing I saw in that game also, Coach, and everybody was talking about last year, you tell me distractions don't make a difference in your preparation and in your game. She didn't have to deal with Fluwale complaining about not playing. She didn't have to deal with trying to babysit her and was able to coach freely. I've been following South Carolina for the last 5 years. To me, and Chat, help me out, I may be wrong, this is the least talented team she's had. You know,
And she about to do it.
yeah. This is probably the least out of her championship teams. This is the least talented one. There's no big name. There's no Asia Wilson. There's no Aaliyah Boston. There's no Cordova. You don't have those players that's just going to be like, wow, they, you know, they. I don't even know if any of them made All-American.
Right.
Now granted, Raven Johnson was SEC Defensive Player of the Year, but that means she wasn't National Defensive Player of the Year. Because they would have brought that up. That'd have been the thing they'd have said first. But they kept just saying SEC Defensive Player of the Year. So I just don't. It attests to the coaching, and it's sad that we had to talk about this today. That national media had to talk about this today. I was on Twitter a lot. Because I want to hear what the temperature was about what he done. Granted, I understand if that's your coach, that's your coach. If you're a UConn fan, when it comes to women basketball, I'm Ole Miss number 1, 100%. No matter Van Chancellor, Carol Ross, doesn't matter who the coach was, I am Ole Miss number 1. But as teams that I have followed over the years, South Carolina, I've loved South Carolina. I was enamored with Baylor at one point, but that's when Griner was there, But South Carolina's been a team. I've never been a UConn, and I've heard Geno speak. At a Nike clinic in Tunica one time, I heard him speak. And a lot of stuff, but once you get older, so I don't know. I just, it looked bad. Who takes the biggest black eye on this? Is it him? Is it the university? Is it Dr. Staley?
Well, no, I think
it's not going to affect recruiting at all.
And it won't affect that. No. And it, honestly, the news cycles so fast, and it's not, it's not.
It'll be going for the championship game tomorrow.
Yeah, it'll be out.
Or after the championship game.
I don't think it was anything that's going to stick around and tarnish his legacy or anything by that means.
And everybody was like, he's probably going to lose a couple players from there. I was like, no, he's not. Because people, controversy really don't stop, players from going to play for who they want to play for. If that's your coach, that's your coach. And most time players going to ride with their coach. So, and then the fact that he left, LeBron get, NBA players get, the Detroit Pistons. They got blasted for doing this. He left, didn't even shake hands after the game. He just left. Give me my ball. I'm finna go home. I just lost. I don't get to go 40-0 this year. I'm finna go. And I wonder, if that have been, if Kim Mulkey, and I ain't no big fan of Kim Mulkey, but if Kim Mulkey doesn't do that, because that's the part that people have ignored. Nobody's talking about him walking off after the game. If Kim Mulkey would have done that, you think we'll just been okay with that?
Yeah, I think we would have because
she's crazy.
Seems like that's the personality. Like,
but that's not his personality though.
True.
He's not that fiery. He's always coached in the demeanor that whatever you saw last night, that's how Geno coached. Now, during the game. Now, I don't know what he do in practice, but that's how he coach in the game. I think Kim get a little slack if she lose a game and just walks off the floor.
I think, I will agree with you there, but I think she's so good when she gets in that press conference room and
spin it,
put that spin on it.
Yeah.
That's where she's brilliant as far as that goes.
She'll spin that thing. Anytime she takes somebody else home game and said, "I'm glad that these people got a chance to see us play." Man, if I had a shoe, I threw it at her. I said, y'all ain't asking the right question. Somebody should have threw something at her. I mean, she took a game that was, kudos to Ole Miss for packing it out. You need to do better instead of waiting to one game to do that, because definitely the women's tickets is not crazy. My bad, Tyler. I know shoe just went the wrong way, but she got in the press conference and said, "I'm so glad that the Ole Miss fans got a chance to see us play." Like, you arrogant. But what can you say because you lost the game? It's the Cam Newton thing. When people got so mad at Cam doing this, and they said, well, keep him out of the end zone. Yep. And Cam can't dance. He can't do all of that if you keep him out of the end zone. So I got in my feelings. But that's I got in my Ole Miss feelings on that, though. So I could. That just made me mad, man. But like I said, news cycle will flip real quick. The national championship tomorrow is at 2:30. I told my niece today. I said I'm gonna get that message on out of the way so I can get on back so I can watch the game. And it's so ironic that the women's game fell on Good Friday and Easter Sunday.
Yeah.
Like, wow, it's just ironic that it fell on it that way. But championship game tomorrow. How do you feel about 2:30 games for the championship game, or why is it not isolated tonight? How do you feel about that?
Well, it's not going ahead. It's not going to go head to head with anything if it went at night. So, I think anytime I think the women's tournament's done a great job over the last few years of really engaging the public and keeping, honestly, kind of stealing some of the thunder from the men's tournament. I'll tell you this much though, to me, I do think like on an Easter Sunday, everybody's together in the afternoon.
Seems like that night would be better.
I mean, I agree with you, but I don't know if they just wonder like, hey, during the day people are together, maybe this gets thrown on with a lot of eyeballs at one time. Because I just don't know what's going on. Like I don't know what would be going on that it would compete with that night. So I'm sure there's some reason. I don't know what it is. But yeah, I mean I agree with you. I would rather my day be done and turn on a championship.
At 6 o'clock that night, I'm watching the championship game.
Yeah.
6 o'clock that night, I'm watching the championship game, and all eyes, because it's something about you think about all the major sports, all the major championships. I think women's basketball is the only one that play during the day.
And Tyler makes a good point. Like, does The Bachelor come on Sunday night? And America's Funniest Home Videos. It's on ABC.
Yeah.
ABC is not going to change their like weekend TV rotation. So, whatever it is that comes on there, I do agree with him. ABC's got a lot to do with that.
I just hate it.
Very good point.
Yeah, the men's game is going to be at 6. College football was at night. Pro Bowl, don't nobody care about no Pro Bowl no more, but the Super Bowl at 5. You got NBA Finals. When the playoffs hit, they're going to be at night. You'll get a couple of playoff games on a Sunday afternoon, but when it boils down to the conference championships, you're going to have those games are going to be played at night. So, I'm invested in women's basketball, with 2 daughters of my own, and I coach girls basketball. I got a niece that played basketball for me, so I've been heavily invested in women's basketball, and I think a lot of people are starting to gravitate to women's basketball. Kudos to Angel Reese and Caitlin Clark. Whether you hate them or love them, they really shined a light. Them two were the Mark McGuire and Sammy Sosa of baseball. They shed a light on a sport and built it off of a rivalry, because we had Mark McGuire and Sammy Sosa at each other's head when in actuality they wasn't. But media,
well, you had, what is that? The high school class of 2020?
The COVID
2019?
Class. I don't know.
Because that class. I mean, it had, because was Haley Van Lith not in that class, and
she was in there.
Paige was in that class. I mean, that's just a loaded group that came through.
High school, graduation. Well, I think Angel Reese, she was 2020, and I think she might have been ahead of Caitlin Clark because Angel transferred. They both was 2020.
Yeah, I was gonna say that class just had some talent.
Yeah, and
like a perfect storm.
And you can, hate them or love them or hate them. They put love them or hate them. WNBA. This is why you're getting paid now. Those 2 players.
Yeah,
those 2 players.
Don't hurt the product.
Yep, they the reason that your that your base salary unmoved from 5 to 6 figures. So now they could probably quit traveling overseas, and Brittany Griner, you can stay away from, you smoke your weed in the States now instead of trying to do it somewhere else. Coach, let's move on to the next segment, man. Coach, you brought up which SEC school coach will be the most successful this year. Coach, that's a very interesting question, because I want to hear your thoughts, and I'm going to tell you, we looked at schedules, and me and my friend of mine, Lil Charles, man, we was traveling one day, and he asked me realistically. He said, "What do you think Ole Miss going to go this year?" And I paused because I got that schedule playing in my head. Now, granted, we are supposed to have the best quarterback in the conference. We are supposed to have the best running back in the conference. We are supposed to have the best kicker in the conference. Those three positions are points. They brought up the other day, I want to credit the podcast I heard it on. I can't think of his name. But if you heard it, put it in the chat if you heard what I'm saying. He brought up that the best defensive teams that Pete Golding had ever had were high school players, not transfer portal. And he said this is the first time that the bulk of our I'm trying to word it to where it where I'm not going off of it. Tyler, man, I want to go with you. Man. But before we start talking about these coaches, I want to pull up Ole Miss schedule again. Because
I got it right. I got it right here, Coach.
Okay.
All right. So, here's a conversation we'll have later, because I think that this has got the chance, because I think if you want my honest opinion,
yeah,
I think 9-3 would be.
I said the same thing, Coach.
I think it'd be a heck of a season.
I said 9-3 would be a successful year with the schedule that we got.
I think there's a chance that Louisville could be the best team in the ACC, and that's who you open your season with. I think Ole Miss is going to be 7-10 preseason, and I think Louisville's going to be I think that's going to be a top 15 matchup week 1 on a neutral site. So you got Louisville.
A win there would be huge.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It'd be a great, especially we don't know right now if Pete Golden will be the coach in that game. I mean, we don't know what's coming with the tampering situation. We don't know what's.
I wish they would try to. NCAA better get some business. Y'all already looking stupid.
So that's in Nashville, Louisville, week 1. Charlotte at home. Home against LSU. You go to the Swamp. You got a bye week. You get Vandy, Missouri.
In which I don't think Vandy. I think Vandy was an anomaly. I think the Pavia effect. There's certain players that can bring things out of other players that I don't think Vandy is going to be the same Vandy as last year.
And they have to replace Eli Stowers, tight end, that was so good. Now they do get their number 1 receivers back, their running backs back. They're going to have continuity on the offensive line. A lot of that's back. Defensive players, I think they're going to be a solid team. And I do agree with you, especially down the stretch, Coach. Pavia just went ballistic.
Yeah.
That last quarter of the season, I mean, he really came on.
And the only thing about Pavia, if I'm an NFL scout, I got a big old picture of Johnny Manziel in my office.
Yeah.
Which will keep me off of Pavia.
But you go to Vandy, I believe, and then you have Missouri. You go to Austin.
I think I'm gonna go to that game, Coach. I think I'm gonna go to Nashville for that.
I hope we're covering it. We go to Austin. You're gonna play Auburn, Georgia. You go to Oklahoma, Wofford, Mississippi State.
The 3 games that bothers me is the going to Texas. The LSU bothers me because of the emotion, not because of Lane, not because of. I just feel like whoever keeps their emotions in check wins the ball game. You know, are we making a tackle on the first play and turning back with flips? You know, you get one stop. Are we looking at lane every time we make a play? That's what's going to determine. I think if Lane Kiffin is the sole reason of every play that I make, then Ole Miss is going to be in trouble.
But and I do think that's on the table. I mean, I think that emotions are absolutely going to be high. I saw Will Eccles today in Tupelo, and people were like, I didn't bother him because you could tell, like,
we got to get him on the
because
show.
it came up, like the Lane Kiffin situation came up, and you could tell they're tired of it. I mean,
yeah,
you could tell he just kind of brushed it off and was like, And a lot of this team was not on last year's team. There's a ton of this is
because they know the story, Coach.
Oh, I mean, of course.
Yeah.
But the wide receiver room is going to look completely different. I'm not, I think the offensive line. I wrote about it.
But Coach, think about it. Even though if they weren't on the team, Coach, if we somewhere and you say, man, that dude just pushed me, Coach, I don't even know what happened, but I'm ready to fight because he pushed you. So they gonna come in with the same mentality. They're like, I don't even know if you spit in his face first. All I know, you said he pushed you. Well, let's go back. Let's go back. Let's see, can he hold up? So they're gonna be ready to roll because of what they know, what they unsaw.
Yeah, I mean, but I'm with you though. I think that's what that game comes down to, like how emotional, how well you keep your emotions in check. But I think Georgia is going to be really good. I think they went out, found.
I think because Georgia, I feel a little bit better because Georgia's at home. Oklahoma scares me because we got to go back.
Yeah. I've done a lot of researching on this, and spring's way too early to tell on anybody. You're not finding out a lot, but Oklahoma's pretty excited about. They have a really good feeling that they found their running game that was missing a year ago, and I think that team's a little different if they have a running game, and they feel like they found something.
Their defense is still going to be their defense. They're going to be tough defensively.
Georgia, their biggest thing last year was they couldn't generate a pass rush. They really struggled. Like, they didn't sack Trinidad Chambliss in the Sugar Bowl. I think they only had 20 sacks on the season, which was a
horrible coming from
a low in the Kirby Smart. Like, that's the worst in the Kirby Smart era. And they've retooled their pass rush with some guys. I think Texas and Georgia are the two games that really concern me because I think, and LSU fans, you just come after me. Kiffin, because Ole Miss, we have seen it.
Yeah.
Kiffin should have beat Nick Saban twice. Should have beat him twice.
He can't handle highly emotional games.
He coaches them differently.
He makes it personal.
I think that if there's one thing that definitely, I think the fact that Kiffin's on that sideline for LSU is in favor of Ole Miss because he coaches those games differently.
Coach, I can see a scenario.
He will coach this one like he coaches those Alabama games.
I can see a scenario, Coach, in the first quarter, 4th and 3 on his 25. He go for it,
and he will go for it. He will absolutely,
and give us the ball.
Yep.
And then Tyler asked about Trinidad and the Heisman. I think his Heisman is tied into 9-3 or 10-2.
Yeah, the schedule itself is gonna. He's got a chance. Like if he goes and wins a close game against Texas on the road, there's going to be Heisman moments on it.
That will be huge.
Georgia, you go in November because you got to think about it. Like what you're going to have. Last year, I thought not only the Kiffin situation kind of hurt him in his Heisman bid, but also the fact that you played a bad South Carolina team, a bad Florida team, and a bad Mississippi State team at the end of the year. You were supposed to, there wasn't a chance like that LSU game, that throw he makes on third down where he threads the needle on that big drive that kind of pushed it to that 2-score lead where they pulled away. If that game's in November, that's a Heisman type moment. The schedule lines up where he's got a chance to have those Heisman type moments. So I think he's got good
I
team.
don't think they'll be as safe as they would. At the beginning, I think the Georgia game they was real safe with him. They really didn't want to put him in a position where he could lose the ball game. And I just think now the trust is there to where we really get to see the full potential of Chambliss. Now, it's different this year because people didn't know who you was last year.
Right.
They know who you are now. They got film on you. They know you're throwing mechanics. They know all of the little glitz and glamour that comes with Trinidad Chambliss. What do you do when people know that?
And, you have to give credit to Billy Glassclock, Charlie Weiss Jr., and Lane Kiffin, because I thought they did we didn't have a clue what the receiving core – this time last year, we didn't know what the receiving core was going to look like.
No.
And they struck gold with Dejon Striblin,
Yep.
Harrison Wallace. Winston Watkins ended up being a pretty good freshman for him, and then, you had Caden Lee. You've got to completely redo your wide receiver room. Like, you're banking on that you've made good evaluations with the Syracuse guys, that Caleb or Cunningham's going to take a step forward, which I don't know, but they're talking pretty highly about him.
Coach, on both ends, on Caleb's end and on Ole Miss end, this connection needs to be great this year, because I think if he's not that guy, then he's obviously going to transfer, because if he's not that guy, he's not going to be playing. But on the flip side, you had an opportunity as Ole Miss to move away from him, and you didn't. Yeah. So I think on both ends, that got to be successful for the both of them to be, for Caleb to be successful and Ole Miss to be successful.
Well, and
to have a breakout.
You've made an investment in him. Like, you want it to work out. Like, you need it. You need it to, because it costs money. So,
well, Tyler Deuce is having a pretty good spring, from what I'm reading. Deuce has been that. I think he is the number one guy.
Yeah, he's wearing number one. He's wearing that Treadwell Brown.
Yeah, that number's pretty good in Ole Miss history.
You got to put on Striblin wore it. One's been a good, just like Deuce is wearing 2 at quarterback, so as the backup spot. So when his name's called, he's gonna continue the Corral Dart legacy. So
there's not a loss of talent in a wide receiver room, in that running back room, in the quarterback room. I mean, your scout quarterback is a starting quarterback for somebody else.
Yeah.
Like, he could go start somewhere. So your scout team quarterback, if it should get your defense prepared.
And
he's decent.
As concerned as I was, I wrote a story earlier in the week. 16. It was one pressing issue for every team in the SEC, and I wrote Ole Miss is on the tackle position. That was before I saw some video, which we're seeing indie stuff. We're not seeing team. We're not seeing a lot of stuff
unless you're there.
But
get no real.
I think we have proof, because we saw it last year on how well Kewan Lacey is in pass blocking. The mobility of Trinidad Chambliss. I don't think you have to be great at tackle, and I think they're going to be better than I thought they would be. So I was kind of worried about Kern moving from a guard to a tackle. I think they're going to be okay.
People don't understand how different that move is. It's not. I think sometimes we're in a high school mode that you could just go from center guard. No, that move is miles away from each other, and you could just be just a couple of inches over.
The defensive side, I think they think that they've added the depth on the defensive line to stay fresh. I think they believe they've upgraded at linebacker.
And, safety. Coach, if we don't have a great safety, we're not going to be the defense that we want to be.
Well, Coach, and that's what I wanted to ask, what I wanted to pick your brain about was, you see that Gushikin, he was number 14.
Yeah.
Has an incredible pro day.
Great.
Gets a meeting with the Bengals. I think he's going to meet with the Bengals, about being drafted, and doing other interviews and stuff. I'm not so sure that, and because if you go back and listen to shows from last
hate-
season, uh,
You wasn't too fond of
well,
him, Coach.
I'm talking about the secondary as a whole.
Yeah,
But
I
I
didn't
thought
like secondary.
I thought it was I thought some of it may be talent, but I thought that it was communication. I thought they really struggled. It just looked like they were blowing cover, like they just weren't where they're supposed to be. It wasn't talent. Like usually when they were supposed to be, they defended the pass. It was just they weren't there very often. So you just brought in a whole slew of new guys.
Yep.
They can have all the talent in the world if they don't understand the defense, and they only have 6 months to get together.
And
be
now
able to
you're the head
communicate.
coach. You're not the defensive coordinator anymore.
Right?
You're the
So,
head coach now.
I think that's my concern on the defensive side is, and you did bring Antonio Kite back. You do have Jalen Braxton, and I like the guy from Auburn. I think he's going to be really good too.
I hope Luke is all the trouble he done put us through.
Yeah, but I do think if there's a concern, I think that on the defensive side, I think it's in the second.
And that's the secondary and offensive line, the two areas that you have discussed. Those are the two X factor areas. If those areas are fixed, then 9-3 may be 11-1, or possibly 12-0. Like that's not out of the realm of possibility because this team last year was not supposed to be 11-1. They were not. I think I might have went 8-4 on it last year.
I think their over under was 8.5.
So they were not supposed to be 11-1. Now
The schedule's different this year, though.
yeah, because now there's expectation. Expectation with a new coach, a first-year coach,
An extra conference game.
and you have loaded your room with Mississippi coaches and names, and now I saw names did not work in Boulder, and I think Dion figured that out, and I think he let these names go and brought in some coaches because I love Warren Sapp as a player. Warren Sapp as a coach, like, come on, man. And I think Dion understood that if I'm going to keep doing this, I better get quality coaches, not quality names.
It's hard for great players too. It's hard for them to coach because
No
they
doubt. No doubt, man.
they have a mindset. Not everybody has that mindset. It's hard to pass that information along to the players that you're coaching. And I think that is
I take it a step further. Great football minds now, especially that's one thing I said about my son. My son has a great football mind, but to his ability to translate it, has been his biggest issue because if you sit down, coach, you and him and Tay Armstrong, put y'all on a college level with resources, y'all a different monster than it is when it comes to high school. Because y'all ability to X and O this stuff is man, it's beyond normal. It's normal people's mind. I tell them all the time. I said, if you really want to know how something needs to be, I said, send the film to coach. Send the film to Benji. I said, when he break it down, just listen to what he say. I've told Chris Davian he's getting started. I said, look, anything, send to Benji. Because once he break it down, whatever he say, trust me, it's gonna be there. And I think because they were so great, sometimes we get caught up in. I'm not gonna say I ain't gonna say I was a great power lifter. I was pretty darn good.
Come on, coach. Look at the medals behind you.
Well, that's just that ain't all up. I just put that up for show. There's more over there. I'll let y'all know. I even got some on throwaway. But anyway, after a while, people don't know who you are. Whether you know it or not, no matter how good you are right now, after a while, people ain't gonna know who you are. So now when I used to go to Jackson 10 years ago, they knew who I was. If I walked downstairs and walked on the platform, they know who I am. So now when I say something 10, 15 years later, they don't know who I am. So my name, and I think what's happening is just, the Warren Sapps and all those guys, their name was great. But, people these jokers, they make more money than you do. And you got all it. With Warren Sapp probably spitting skull in your mouth, in your face, and he cussing you out. And you're like, dude, you ain't talking to nobody in 10 years.
Yeah.
So I think, but to go back to the question, Coach, what SEC coach will be the most successful? Who do you see this year? I think I got an idea because you had already mentioned them.
Well, I just look at it from this standpoint, because everybody will want to say Lane Kiffin. Well, Lane Kiffin's been handed
I don't think so.
$40 million roster. He's expected to win a national championship. If he don't, I think that's a failure. Like you've been given everything you need. It's a failure if you are not playing in that game.
He has to get to at least the semifinal.
Yeah.
Whatever Ole Miss done last year, if you don't do better than that, it's a failed year.
Yeah. So I think if you want to keep everything relevant, to the expectations of the program, to the talent that they brought in, I think it's John Summerall at Florida. I like they put Dave Caldwell in December when he gets hired. When John Summerall gets hired, gets Dave Caldwell in there. They have they end up finishing with a top 25 high school recruiting class, had a good portal class. He's put great people in great spots. And when you listen to the press conferences, because like I said, I did a lot of SEC writing over the past week, listened to a lot of press conferences. I think when we want to talk about relevant to the expectations, I think John Summerall's got a chance to exceed them. And I think he's got a chance to be the most successful coach in his first year at his new school.
Who will be the least? Who will be the least?
I think Stein's going to have a tough time at Kentucky. I think they're going to score points. I think they're going to look a lot better offensively than they have in the past. But where they've been good in the past defensively, I think that's where they could potentially struggle.
Coach, this is not hate. This is not. I say Lane Kiffin, and this is why I say Lane Kiffin. Lane Kiffin cannot go 9-3. I'm gonna take it a step further, Coach. Lane Kiffin can't even go 10-2. It's different down here, remember?
Yeah.
The reason why I say he will be the least successful this year, because Lane is going to go 8-4 and miss the playoffs.
Oof.
And that's not enough with what was done. That's why he's moonwalking right. He ain't moonwalking because Michael Jackson movie about to come out. If you've been listening to his press conference, man, I'm talking about he got some penny loafers on and he's sliding across the floor like never before. Why? Because he understands. Now he's asking for time to build. Yeah, the reason why you could build at Ole Miss, because there was no expectation. We was coming off of NCAA sanctions. No expectations. It's different when there's expectation. Like I always say, cost of living. How much is your cost of living now? Lane's cost of living is high now. Yeah, he's making more money. Yeah, he got more resources, but now the expectations are different. 8-4 ain't gonna do it. And if he do not make it to the BCS semifinal game, then it will be. Y'all can LSU fans. Y'all can miss me with your excuses. If Lane Kiffin, mark my word, I'll pull the video back up in 8 more months. If Lane Kiffin don't get to at least the semifinal, LSU, this was a failed year for y'all. That made me cough. It will be
I
a
think
failure.
that, and Coach, I'm gonna go here too, because I think this applies not only to Kiffin. I think this applies to a lot of teams in the SEC. We have to win every. SEC. They say it just means more. It's not only the games that are going to get played this fall. It's also about the recruiting, like recruiting rankings. Like it's as competitive. They might as well start handing out national championship trophies for it. I do wonder, and this is something I'll be curious about with Ole Miss too, and several other teams. But LSU and Ole Miss finished 1 and 2 in the transfer portal rankings, so it's what I'll be curious about. I think there's a case study to be done. We've seen now 3 years in a row that the Big Ten's won the national championship in college football. I think the Big Ten does a great job of building teams, not star-studded rosters. And with this being the first year of rev
So
share,
you're saying the SEC is LeBron and his teams?
I think that they have I think the SEC has a hard time building. I think they build incredible rosters. I think the team aspect of it,
You
and I
don't
think
get an
that's
opportunity.
something. I think that's something Kiffin did really well at Ole Miss with. When you didn't have the rev share number, there was a Grove Collective budget that you had to go make valuations on, and you had to, like, I remember them talking about, they didn't get Trey Harris because Trey Harris had all the stars by his name. They thought he'd be a guy that bought in and could take over the receiver room and be a leader. They liked what was his
Lacey.
name?
Lacey wasn't a big name.
Yeah, what was his name? The linebacker, Chance Campbell.
Yeah.
Paul. Like all these transfers they brought in, they said we're going to put a valuation on these guys. We're going to evaluate them. We're going to put a valuation on them, and if they fit this price range, we'll get them. Well, now with RevShare, you've got this big pot. You've had all this, so now you're just going and getting guys. So are you building a? Because I think he's built a great roster, but will it translate into a great team? I think the same question exists for Ole Miss as well. Ole Miss just tied in the 9th inning. Let's go. But
Don't mess around. Let the Rebels get hot.
That's my concern.
Never giving up on you guys.
Yeah, I haven't either. But like, say that you go to Oxford in September and lose that game, or say Ole Miss loses that game, because we've done talked about their schedule and how difficult it is. You have that first loss in September. There's a lot of season left where you've got to hold the team together. I just, that's just an observation. We're a long way from knowing how this plays out, but it's just something I wonder about.
Well, I mean, I'm on a game, freaking 2-run homer. You boom or bust.
Who hit it?
Uttermark.
Oh yeah, he's been due one. So.
You said it though. We boom or bust. We either gonna jack one over or we're gonna hit to the warning track.
They love some launch angle, coach. Like I bet they hit 8 balls to the warning track last night. Just they're trying to get it out of the yard.
I tell you what, they pull this off. This will be big. They take that series at Florida.
It would be. You're going to turn around and get LSU, and the schedule don't get easier.
Well, Coach, man, our final segment of the night, man, and it is starting to heat up. Let me get the theme music for us. This dude has become my wife get mad at me because sometimes I walk through the house and I have to strut.
I told Carrie about that.
Mad at me. This is Obafemi is the reason why I'm not losing weight. I'm just gonna build on this 240 and I'm just gonna look like him. I figured out, Coach. If my belly ain't gonna go nowhere, just make my chest and shoulders bigger.
There you go. Hey, let me tell you.
That's the solution.
I gotta brag on myself for a minute here. I've been working out the past 12 weeks. I'm back into. I've lost 3. I had to go get Easter clothes today, Coach, because I can't wear anything. Everything's too big. I've lost 3. I'm down 3 inches in my pant size, and now I did go down a shirt size. My arms looking big. It might bust out them, but the gut's not. So when you see us on the sideline this fall, I will not look as sloppy as I did at the playoff game.
My arms will be bigger because we are hitting it hard. We just lifting heavy, and we just going crazy in here. We got the motto in this weight room. The motto is simple: you live or die. Ain't no in between. You either gonna get the lift or you gonna die. We'll have Bell Funeral Home or Parker Funeral Home waiting to pick you up. If you can't get this weight, then they on speed dial. It's lift or die up in here. But other than that, we rolling. But man, the WWE, man, when I say this is the best build up to a WrestleMania since the finishing of the story. This has been the best build up. Now, granted, that has only been 3 years removed. I think they really dropped the ball last year. But with Oba, the way they build it now, I think with the way Oba has been dominating Brock Lesnar, I think Brock is winning that match.
Yeah.
They're not finna let him get destroyed and destroyed. But hear me out, Coach. This is my theory. I don't think he win it outright. I think Paul Heyman makes a mistake and tries to hit Brock Lesnar and mess around and hit Oba. I think Paul Heyman is going to turn on Brock.
That'd be pretty.
This is me thinking now, but I just don't see with the way that Obafemi has been really dominating Brock Lesnar. I don't see him winning in WrestleMania. I just don't see that.
I'm with you there. Yeah.
They wouldn't. I mean, and I don't think you can let him get dominated because he is your future. You can't. The only way he loses this match, it got to be interference. It got to be something that hits and knocks him out, and Brock gets his finisher. You cannot allow, with Brock retiring this year, you cannot allow him to dominate Obafemi.
Man, can you imagine how crazy that F5 is going to look?
I hope he in the weight room. Oba's every bit of 370. I hope that he's really been in that weight room. If he ain't, then Brock gonna be Bale and Parker gonna be picking him up too. Obafemi, man, the way he scooped Brock Lesnar up and dropped that power bomb on him. Shoot. But I just feel like WrestleMania, whatever go to. Now here's the thing. This is why I think I don't think that Oba's his pop is too strong. They're not gonna heel turn him. I think eventually Paul Heyman gonna have his hands on him because one thing we haven't heard Oba do is talk. We don't know how he worked the mic.
Yeah.
I see what they're doing with Trick Williams. He is the what you got, Pepsi, and you got what's the equivalent, cola. I think Trick Williams is the cola Rock. That's what they're trying to make him. He's not the Rock, but I think they're trying to make him a character within himself. I have not heard Obafemi on the mic yet. And usually when people are not mic savvy, that's when Paul Heyman and these other people come in.
Yeah.
They help orchestrate their mic. Roman Reigns now can handle a mic without, but for a long time, Roman didn't talk. It was, this is Paul Heyman. And
I'm going to tell you, they've been, which I know, I do think there is some personal history, I believe, between Punk and Roman, but
this stuff is getting uncomfortable, Coach.
The work on the mic between both of them has been pretty good.
And they taking personal, Coach, I know this is all orchestrated, but there are some boundaries, man. We're not talking about my dead daddy, bro.
Yeah.
Come on.
Or telling Punk to ask his wife what it's like to main event. Woo.
Stuff like that, man. And it didn't shock me that the Usos lost the title because I think I think Bloodline 2.0 is coming back.
Yeah.
And in order for them, they're going to get to this point where all of them got the title again. The whole thing with Sami Zayn, I just think Sami Zayn is just holding that title. I think they rushing it. This is why I think the WWE got to be careful. You rush Jey Uso. You put that title in his hand, and I think they're rushing Trick Williams. I think he's going to win that. I think that title's going in his hand.
Well, but that's a title that I think is definitely one that the champion makes, and he does got the potential though to make that to where it doesn't have to be like a constant open challenge spot because we just got people who are just
Carmelo. Let's go
because he's got a chance to,
and they finna build
hold the attention of a crowd.
They finna build a beef between Trick and Carmelo. I see that happening. Still, the most lackluster title match is going to be Rhea Ripley and Jade Cargill.
Yeah,
I mean, crickets on that, man. It's for me, that's crickets. I don't know if there's going to be an interference and Jade keeps her title. I think it'll make for a better story to keep that title on Jade and wait till what's her name? Jimmy's wife. I went brain dead again. Jimmy Uso's wife.
Oh, Naomi.
I think it's good to keep the title on Jade and bring and let Naomi come back. And but let me ask you about that. Tyler, appreciate that, man. What about Pat McAfee?
I don't get it. I do not get it.
It got to be somebody else, Coach. It's somebody else.
I don't know. I kind of wonder, like, does he want to be done with the WWE? And he said, like, if Cody retains, I'm done with the WWE. So this is their way of saying, well, he's not going to be coming back ever as a announcer. Like, this is how he's going to part his ways. Because other than that, it doesn't make sense to me that you said, like, wrestling has more than one royal family. I'm talking to, and it's Pat McAfee?
Pat McAfee.
Pat McAfee turned heel?
Like, you're not even connected. You're not even connected. But it gotta be he got to be the liaison, the connection to somebody. To me, I think The Rock is too obvious.
That's what I've been wondering too. Or that's what I kind of thought I thought that's where this was headed, to be completely honest with you. Because it being too obvious sometimes, that's how Triple H and them roll with it. Like, you can predict it. So I guess, if anything, they did surprise me last night.
What if it's Shane O'Mac?
See, that's what did we?
Well, no, because that'll take that away from whatever she got. Well, no, that is in the story because it, with his daughter, with Vince, what if it is Vince?
That'd be crazy. I kind of agree with Tyler though.
Goldust, but is Goldust still under contract?
Is he AEW?
I think he is. I don't know if his contract is. It would be something to hear that. Must be the money, and Shane don't come out.
Yeah, it would.
And it gotta be somebody. It gotta be somebody that's gonna go into
Trey,
the other family. Who is the other prominent family in professional wrestling? The only thing Vince McMahon Jr., Shane McMahon. They are the WWF, WWE.
Yeah. And, I did read something today where that's what a lot of people are expecting.
It's basically loaded no outs too, but go ahead.
I saw a lot of people on Twitter think that it's got to be something more and that it's got to be a McMahon. So I did read some of that today.
That will be, Coach, I'm saving up my little money so I can I guess I'll have to pay stupid
ESPN Unlimited. Hey, man, you can watch every Ole Miss baseball game on there because all we can find ourselves on, which I think tonight we're on regular SEC Network, but usually we're on SEC Network Plus. So,
okay. But I'm trying to figure that any other match that catch our attention. I just think, like I said, they got. Don't blow this WWE. Now they are starting to save themselves with the dude that's putting curses on people. I mean, They are starting. It's stupid, but you can. It's starting. The only thing, Tyler, my Hulu is connected to my Spotify, so I don't even try to get the whole package because I don't want to get rid of my Spotify and Hulu. I got it connected.
Are they still doing the is ESPN and Fox still doing their app together too? I know that at one time they were, but I think that they were, that's really monopolizing sports, and I think they were some people were trying to fight that. So I don't know if that's still happening or not. But at one time they were going to package ESPN Unlimited and Fox Sports together, because Fox Sports is coming out with a new streaming platform. And man, if that happened, that's the only TV I need.
Yeah, because when you look at it, man, we probably pay more than we should be paying for stuff, but it is what it is.
We got told, Coach. We got told hey, cut the cord, man. You're going to save money in the end.
And boy, did they lie on that.
You can go to, you're going to save money on these streaming platforms. Now we have, I have so many subscriptions. I don't know.
Oh,
I don't even know.
Tell me about it.
The day's coming where some cable provider's gonna, or DirecTV, whatever's gonna approach me and be like, "Hey, you're paying this. We can get it all in one spot for the same price. What you think?"
And see,
I'm
I do YouTube TV.
Yeah,
and I think they all got them, but I just need to sit down one day and see. Okay, is it easier for me to just bundle it all right here and cut the middleman out?
Because it's frustrating. Like, I have to go watch. Like, I'm trying to watch the Final Four last night and watch Ole Miss baseball on two different. So I've got to have two different devices out. Like, I can't.
Yeah.
Just let me have 4 screens on one TV that I can pick what I want to watch.
Let me pick. See, Coach, you got me now. I'm gonna go that Monday while I'm off. I'm gonna sit down and look at all my subscriptions and see, can I get it all bundled in one place.
I see the ad. What is it? Rocket Money. Hey, if any of these companies that we're out here just putting out in the open air want to sponsor us, just
go ahead, man. We got you.
Send us an email. But they're all the time like, "Do you even know what you're spending?" And I'm like, I don't even want to know what I'm spending.
Nope. I just canceled Peacock because I was like, wait a minute, why did I have Peacock? I'm sitting there, I said, but WWE. I don't want to look at that.
No, because there's still not all the. It's only WrestleMania and WrestlePalooza that'll be on ESPN. I believe the rest of the PLEs will still be on Peacock.
Oh, I'm canceling it now. So I was like, man, I don't need this no more because I didn't look at none of the shows. Outside of Netflix, man, I don't really look at a lot of stuff, man, and definitely live
I'm
TV.
going to tell you, HBO Max, there's some good stuff on there, man.
I think my niece got that. Like right now, I'm watching A Different World on Netflix. I just finished the Steve Harvey show.
Are they? They are done with
loaded.
Peacock?
Huh?
They are. So they are
I
done
thought they were done with Peacock. I thought everything went to ESPN.
I thought ESPN just wanted a couple of like big PLEs, and then some stuff was staying with it.
Coach, his base is loaded with nobody out.
We'll find a way.
Hit into a triple play or something. Then give up a opening. Let me check.
Well, and then we have to turn around because it's the top of the ninth. We have to turn around and get 3 outs after that. Because our bullpen's got to be pretty.
Not if we hit this grand slam right here.
Pretty strained at this point. We threw a lot of arms Thursday night and last night.
What is the midweek game? Oh crap! He hits one to the warning track, just like we always do.
But it scores a run. Should score a run.
Scores a run.
That's when you want the fly ball right there. Hit your sack fly and get your run.
Runners move second and third. So 1 out, base open. Probably get a walk right here. I would. Ooh, we're
so what did they? So we had a guy tagged to go to third.
Yeah, we second.
So it's first and third. Oh, it's second.
Second and third. I go ahead and put him on. 1 out. Don't risk it.
Get you a force anywhere.
Yeah. It look like they're going to pitch to him, and he just too far in front. Coach, he hung that. He hung that
plate?
slide. Foley. Austin Farmer.
He
He hung that slider. He got 2 strikeouts on the day.
it'd be good for his confidence to come through with a clutch hit right here because he's
He
struggling.
needs to get it built on right now. He got way in front of it.
I'm gonna tell you another one. Did Reuter bat clean up again tonight? Because man, they need to move him.
Good.
Which I think he has like 42 or 43 strikeouts on there.
That is ridiculous. That's something I would do. Let's see. Let me go check. I got a feeling this cat finna strike out. He's down 0-2 right now. No, Furnace was the cleanup man. Reuter was number 5.
That's
a bad stat to be a DH. That's your job.
Yeah. And it's not good for this team. Like, I do think Will Furnace does some good things.
Strikeout. I've got dirty.
If Will Furnace batted cleanup, like, he's just not a cleanup hitter. Like, Furnace is a guy who will draw some walks. He's going to hit some balls. He's going to get out a lot too. But he's not a cleanup hitter. Like, when you're asking him to bat cleanup, I think you're in trouble.
Coach, I got a feeling we only
The setup for, we got Udemar. Udemar's been leading off. He hits for power. He should be the 3-hole.
Well, Decker led off today.
Oh, he did.
That's
what it should be. Like, I don't know, man. I just lineup wise, the lineup hadn't made sense the past few days.
They moved Udemar to he bat 3rd tonight.
That's about where he should be.
And we're at the bottom of the lineup right now, but
so what, you got Randall at the plate? Randall or
Federico.
So he was batting 9-hole.
Yeah, we're at the 9.
Which he's hit better as of late. Like, I thought he's a guy that you were expecting to move runners around, put the ball in play and see what happens, not hitting fly balls all over the ballpark. And
bull crap call, man. He did not go through. He checked it, man, and he did not go through. They called it a strike. 1-1. That got my attention now.
Tyler must be ahead of us.
Okay.
Or ahead of you. I'm not watching.
Base League just scored 2.
Good.
Well, you said Federico is he can move runners, man. So once again, the 9th inning Rebels know how to get hot. Wish they could stay hot and do stuff the right way.
Hey, it's a big series. Like this, if you only got one or got swept this weekend, like the odds of you hosting a regional are probably out the door. But you're now in territory like, hey, we're trying to make it. So this is a big weekend.
Especially after getting swept by Mississippi State that I have to hear the whole week, but it is what it is. I started getting mad and calling out current teams and everything. Y'all didn't beat nobody. I got mad at folks. Leave me alone when we lose. Listen, chat, people, y'all leave me alone when my team lose. Cause I go low. I'm petty. I don't know how to stop. But Coach, man, we're gonna wrap it up tonight. I got baby duty.
Oh,
it's my time.
I hear mine in there.
It's my time. Hopefully she go to sleep tonight and understand at 3:00 it's not a normal time for people to be up. Maybe I can get some sleep tonight, or maybe we sunrise with the Lord this morning. I don't know. It just depends on how she feels. But that guy right beside me, he is the offensive coordinator. He's the man that keeps this thing rolling. My job, very simple. I make sure that you don't score a lot of points on us. Make sure if you missed this episode, you can go to Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you get your podcasts. Tyler, appreciate you, man, for joining us tonight.
For
DJ
real,
Scott, man, you keep the show rolling, man. I appreciate you.
Saw Trey in there too. Hadn't seen Trey in a while. Good to see you.
Lawrence, appreciate you, brother. We thank y'all, man. Thank y'all guys for, you make the show roll, man. If y'all are not on, man, we're 2 big dummies that talk to each other. So y'all make sure that we can keep stuff rolling, man. We appreciate everyone that joined us tonight. Make sure you join us on Tuesday night, I believe. Tuesday night we'll be back on. We'll talk some championship basketball and some more
Pete Golden.
football.
Pete Gold will have a media op that day, so we'll break it down.
So we'll be able to break all of that stuff down. Well, Coach, man, I'm getting my mind and mental ready to go change the Pampers and clean up, spit up.
Enjoy
Make sure
it, man.
Make sure you hit that follow button so you won't ever miss an episode. We are the Coach and Coach Podcast. We'll see you on the next one.